2021, Civil Aviation Authority issued a directive to all airport stakeholders, urging them to inform their staff who interface with passengers in operation areas not to use mobile phones. Why are we referring to this? Because in some of the communications, the vice has happened through access to mobile phones. So what have we done right now is that much as we sent that communication, the implementation has not been as effective as possible. So you will still find some stakeholders who still use their mobile phones and some that do not use their mobile phones. So what are we going to do right from yesterday is to implement the decision, enforce it, follow it up to ensure that any staff from whatever agency who has a direct interface with the customer in the different areas does not walk or use their phone while. We have also resolved one very important part that after a passenger has gone through immigration on departure, recalling them or offloading them for any reason, it will require approval of the director airports and the general manager. Why are we taking that action? Because if you noticed some of the complaints that have come in from the public or from the social media, is that after they've gone through the process and they're about to board, they are offloaded. So the only way we can have stop that vice is by putting that kind of measure and say you cannot offload a passenger who has gone through immigration, because immigration is the last control. So you cannot offload a passenger without approval. So the approval then sits in one office, which is the director of airports, who is here full-time, 24/7, and the general. We've taken on, we have also intensified those messages. So anybody who is traveling through Entebbe International Airport will read the message very clearly. Do not give money to any person. These are the procedures you must follow. These are the telephone numbers that you need to call. The beauty with that is that when the telephone number is on the screen, a passenger who is in a tough situation will find a way of calling and alerting us. That is one of the things that we've done. We also have the suggestion boxes, which have been placed everywhere. Those have been there, and we've been reviewing them. But as we communicate to the passengers as they come through the Entebbe International Airport, that will also be one of the areas that we have. The other one, because if you listened in, the failure to identify the person you're dealing with is also a big gap. If I can't identify who is asking me for money, it will be hard to report. We have agreed to enforce the name tags going forward. And we've given a number of stakeholders at the airport 1 week in which everyone who walks into here to serve a passenger will have a name tag, very clear name tag. So that when I deal with you, I exactly think that we do not take action on staff, both at CAA and other agencies. But I want to assure you and assure the general public that for some time now, we've taken action where issues have actually been reported to us. Yes, and I want to thank those travelers, those Ugandans, whether non-Ugandans, that have reported issues relating to abuse. And in the last, I think, past period, about 26 staff from the different agencies have either been terminated, suspended, or sent back. And that evidence is there. So it is not true that we've not been taking action. We've taken action, but the only thing we need from the public, we need the information. So if you give us this information and you share it timely, then there's a disciplinary process that we follow, and we want to assure you that going forward, this will continue and we'll implement it. We've reviewed the social media videos that have gone out. We've reviewed them. We've been able to see, and I can announce that one of them has been arrested this morning, because he was easily identified as a staff who was involved in the fraud. So that one has been arrested. What that means is that if the public can share information with us, with evidence, with the
all aware, we are trying to respond to many of the clips that have been circulating on social media. Some of them are very good, very informative, and have allowed us to take corrective action on some of our errand staff. But others are also very sensational, as Madam has said. Others are very sensational, and to an extent, some of them defamatory. So I would really like to urge the public also to be more objective in some of the issues that they raise. Let them be objective so that we can take the corrective measures that, that are warranted within our organizations. People should understand that government will always remain responsive to people's plight. We understand the circumstances that we're in, and government will always be there to see what people need, so that we can respond to them properly.